leg hinges or hinge points of the leg. When learning bass drum foot technique, just like when we play with our hands, we have to consider all the hinge points of our leg as we did our arm in playing with our hands. Let's review. We had the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, and the fingers. Well, if we apply that to our leg, we have, going backwards, the hip, the knee, the ankle, and the toes. Those are the hinges of the leg that we can use for developing foot technique for bass drum. Now I'm going to tell you that it's a lot easier for foot technique because two of them are really important and two of them aren't so much. You can't do a lot with two of them, so I'll go through them quick with you. The ankle's the most important. Most all of our bass drumming techniques involve the ankle. Yeah, pretty much. There's kind of one technique that you could do without moving the ankle, but it's not real practical as a technique in and of itself. As a part of an ankle technique, it does work, and I'll get to that later. So the ankle's very important. You have to use your ankle. Your toes, you can't use your toes like your fingers because they're inside of a shoe and a sock usually. Not too many people play barefoot, but even if you did, you can't really activate that pedal with just your toes. It just doesn't work. You can play with your toes, using your toes to push on, but you can't actually work the toes. So we don't really have toe playing. There's not really a thing as a bass drum technique as toe playing, but there is ankle playing. The knee also, we don't do a lot with the knee. Because of the way you're sitting with your leg bent, your knee can only go forward and backwards. Now there is a sliding technique we will use in one of the techniques that involves a little bit of movement at the knee, and there's also a swivel technique that some guys use in double bass drumming, or single bass drumming I guess, where you're swiveling your ankle, which involves a motion from the knee that's initiated from the knee. But other than that, you really don't use your knee to play. You can't play from just the knee like the toes. Then of course there's the hip. You use the hip to lift your entire leg up, and that's the heel up style of playing that's very popular, especially for rock drummers. So quick review: ankle and hip, very important hinge points for bass drum technique. Toes and knee, not as important, used but not really, kind of used in different ways that help the ankle and the hip. Keep that all in mind as you're learning these techniques.